Okay, so this is a follow-on to our real estate series where we compared rental prices and housing prices and the GICs and the Royal Bank yield. Some folks came back to us after we did that and asked us to look at their particular town, so that's what we've done. The thing is, some of those towns are quite small and they don't have big condo markets, and so in order to keep the comparison fair and do an apples to apples comparison, we're now going to compare housing prices to rental yields in Vancouver and Toronto again. To those cities, and we're going to strip out the condos in Vancouver and Toronto, because if you're in Sudbury, for example, or Coquitlam, you don't have a big condo market. You know, you'll either be buying a house or renting a house there, and so, you know, just to keep the comparison fair, we're going to come up with some new numbers for Toronto and Vancouver to make it apples to apples. If you have questions about that, leave it in the comments below and I can walk you through the logic. In terms of Toronto, the average price for a single family house in Toronto, either detached or semi-detached, is, the average is $818,935, and the average rent for such a place in Toronto is $1,454. If you have a house and you're renting it out in Toronto, you're not beating the GIC yield that we talked about before. I think you're losing 40 basis points or 42 basis points on that, and you're getting crushed by the Royal Bank yield, which is actually up a little bit since we first did this video series. It's now at 3.7%. So if you buy a house in Toronto and rent it out, you're going to get less than 150 basis points, or 1.5% less doing that than if you just bought shares of Royal Bank and you know, collected the dividends. That's Toronto as a baseline. Now Vancouver's average house price, and this is a detached or semi-detached house, their average house price is $1,520,819. That's the average. And the rent for that bad boy is $1,498. So you're going to get about $1,500 a month rent from this leviathan of a house. It's actually not a leviathan, they're usually pretty small, but they're quite expensive. And so the homeowner in Vancouver who rents out his or her house is getting 137 basis points less than a GIC, and they're getting crushed by the Royal Bank's dividend yield of 2.5%. So the cash flow for real estate investors again in Vancouver is even more laughably bad than in Toronto, which is not itself great.